Yes, Karkaton, the hardest world in the main game. While Miitopia is an easy game, I think that you can still find some use in this video, because there may be some strategies and other things that you never knew about this world. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, Karkaton is the fourth world in Miitopia, with the whole presence of it being that you have to save your friends from the Dark Lord's wrath. It's important to note that you have the job you chose in Realm of the Fae at the start of this world. No worries, you'll unlock job switching after killing a boss, so you'll be fine. So, let's talk about an order which you save your friends. To make it easier, I'll number each teammate 1 through 9, with 1 being your first companion and 9 being the last teammate in Realm of the Fae. So the first location you can save your friends is in Karkaton Ascent, in the Haven Hollow. Teammates 3, 6, and 9 will be there, also known as the last teammate you chose in every single ward up until this point. It's important to note that you can save your teammates in any order. You can make your hike for teammate 3 or just go for 9 to make them stronger, because, well, they're going to be your weakest teammate. I recommend in any playthrough of this game putting all your good teammates that you will use in your main 4 in here. So make your last Greenhorn and next door teammates your 2 other good me's you will want to use a lot. And maybe if you want to make your last Realm of the Fae teammate a very useful me. But me personally, I want to recommend that mainly because you get them so late and they feel like a dead weight to the team. But if you make the other teammates good, you should be fine for the 4 bosses you have to fight with them in the Great Sage. The Great Sage will join your team through Karkaton Ascent and a bit later on through the world, and it's also a big help with a nice healing cure, a nice damaging lightning, and a big damaging move in Tower of the Flame. The Sage will be very crucial for this world early on. So now, let's talk about the bosses that occupy Karkaton Ascent. Your first fight, no matter what teammate you go for first, will always be the Magma Slime. This fight is free. I think some dumb 2-year-old could do this fight. Just use your sprinkles so this way the Great Sage can attack as much as possible, because eventually they will use Tower of Flame, which basically does half the slime's HP. Even without using a crazy good physical job like Warrior, it's still pretty fine. If you have a nice damaging Horse Whispering, you should also shred this. Your next boss will be the Plain Claw no matter what teammate you go for again. This is way harder than the slime, even with an extra teammate. The lightning attack is a big concern, even if your Miis are magic based. Even the single target physical move hurts a lot. If you do have a physical team, it isn't as bad though. There's definitely more concern with this. I recommend having the Great Sage help with healing a bit, since this boss is more tanky and it's difficult. But yet again, if you have a good Horse Whispering and Tower of Flame, you will wreck this boss. This could be a difficult fight, but if you play it out right, you'll be fine. And now the final fight in Karkaton Ascent is the Burning Golem. This guy can hit hard because they have an AoE punch move that will no matter what hit your middle teammate. That's their only attack though, so there's no need to worry about any other ability. Make sure you have your most bulky teammate in the middle because they will get hit twice every single turn, and just hope you kill this guy quickly before the damage becomes too much of a threat. But if you have a nice team, this should be relatively easy, considering you have 3 teammates now. And well, that's it for Karkaton Ascent. Let's move on to the volcano. Luckily for you, this volcano section is very short, so there's nothing much of note besides the boss and the split rocks. Speaking of the split rocks, your party will be split in half, but no matter what, your main protagonist will be on the upper side with your Horse, Great Sage, and 1 of your 3 other teammates, while the remaining teammates will be by themselves on the south side. It doesn't really matter what the split is because the mob battles are stupid easy, and plus the bottom half only has 1 level, so you can just come back with all your teammates and get the chest later. But now, let's talk about the boss, Cerberus, which has teammates 2, 5, and 8's faces on it. This is a huge step up from any boss you face up to this point, even in Greenhorn next door in Realm of the Fae. The Cerberus attacks a whopping 3 times per turn, and has 4 attacks: a single target bite, a somewhat AoE fireball attack, a full team AoE ice attack, and a nightmare status. These attacks are all hard hitting, so there's a lot to be concerned about. The nightmare status is especially annoying, because if you don't put that Mii in the safe spot, they will take some damage when it's their turn. But luckily, if they get hit by a move, they will wake up, so that's nice. But there's another upside to this very difficult fight besides the Great Sage: Hyper Sprinkles. These are really useful. You get 5 of them, and they will allow you your basic attacks to do a buttload of damage, and they will only allow you to do your basic attack, but that's the good thing. But here's the twist about these. You don't want to hyper your heroes like Cleric or any magic job like Mage or Scientist, because they will do absolutely nothing. I recommend saving all your hypers for your Warriors, Cats, and maybe Chefs. But if you don't have any of those jobs on the team, that kinda sucks. But luckily for you, your magic team Miis will be able to tank the fireballs and the ice attacks better. Definitely be more savory with your sprinkles and use the safe spot more. And besides that, this fight is hard, but you will definitely get around it in different ways. But now you can make your way through Karkaton Peak quite easily and make your way into the Dark Lord's castle. Now here's the thing with the Dark Lord's castle. You have 7 party members, but you get split up right at the entrance. But let's say you don't like the team you have, but guess what? You can hit plus in the map to give up and go back to before you got split up. So here's the strat. You bring 3 teammates, you and 2 teammates you know for a fact you won't use on the demon. Because here's the thing when you have 3 teammates on the rocks. Only the protagonists will be by themselves, and the other 2 will be on the other side. So you can guarantee your protagonist on the left side and 2 teammates on the right side. Repeat this process until you have a team you want to take on the demon. Which is the next boss you face, which has teammate 4s based on it. This boss can either be easy or hard. It has 2 attacks, being a single target mace, which does a buttload of damage, and its status, which isn't nearly as bad as the Nightmare, but it can be annoying, so just shove the effect in me in the safe spot immediately. Because the status can interrupt basic attacks, but even worse are the side enemies, the naughty imps, which are so annoying. I mean, sure, they don't hit all that hard, but they can give the evil status, which is basically the same as the demon one. I'd prioritize killing them first, this way they don't become too annoying. Remember to use hypers after you kill the imps so you don't waste them on the imps. Besides that, this fight could be a little challenging or severe at all depending on what team you have. But before the next boss, after seeing teammate 4 and going to the other side with your other teammates, you can give up again. This unlocks a whole new world. You can now have 4 teammates you would like on the study. It doesn't matter if they were on the demon, because you gave up, so the game thinks, oh yeah, he hasn't fought the demon yet, but in reality, you have. So this time, use 2 teammates you want on the other side, with the protagonist being forced onto the left. You'll have to do the levels before demon again, but your protagonist should be easily able to carry those levels. Now using your 4 or 3 teammates, if you want more of a challenge, you can take on the study of teammate 7. This boss has 2 attacks, a single target attack and an AoE rock attack. Depending on your team composition, this will either be not annoying at all or stupid annoying, but that's literally it. You want to have physical attacking means use the crap out of hypers, because that's really the only way to do good damage on this. If you have a magic team, you will suffer on this fight, but it isn't as bad, especially with 4 teammates. So, overall, if you just use your sprinkles efficiently, this fight should be an absolute cakewalk. But now, after killing the study, you will have your full team back, besides teammate 1, who's on the armor. It only has 1 attack, but guess what? It has annoying side enemies that can help each other attack, which means you will get wrecked if the sword and armor attack one of your Miis. The shield can also block any attacks on the armor. Just use hypers and make sure your Miis have a target priority on the armor, so this way he can't summon any more swords and shields. If you just kill him fast enough, that won't be a problem. Besides that, there isn't much else to say. Just be careful because these guys can easily shred your Miis. Now after the armor and even before it, the normal enemies will get much more difficult. The main concerns are the flaming winds and the blue minotaurs. I won't go into detail, but just be more careful on the normal levels. You can't just autopilot your way through this anymore. But now, after a ton of normal levels, if you did every single one for the treasures, you'll see a massive dragon. But no worries, because this is by far the easiest boss out of the castle. He only has 2 attacks, a magic fire AoE attack, and a single target shriek attack that could give the scared status from earlier. Luckily the status isn't too annoying, because it's only the scared status. The fire could also be annoying, but the shriek doesn't do that much, plus it's just a dragon by itself, no side enemy bullshit like the armor. So this is really just spam the shit out of hyper sprinkles to fight. Even if you have a magic team, you'll easily be able to tank this boss. So overall, this shouldn't serve as much of a challenge. And now your final hurdle before the Dark Lord will be the required fiend fight. Before you even click A to start the battle, chuck your character flower in the safe spot because they won't be able to revive your fallen teammate, because the fiends will be able to one-shot them. If you don't have those jobs, just chuck your protagonist in there. Then after the first fiend kill, life and hyper sprinkle. Yes, hyper everybody, even magic attacks, because they do nothing to the fiend. Then, if it doesn't die after those a crap ton of hyper attacks, just repeat the exact same process, and then you should be able to get through the fight and move on to the big bad finale of the Dark Lord. But now here we are, the quote-unquote final fight of the game. This guy has two phases. Use hypers in the first phase, you'll see why. The first phase is where Dark Lord will do all of its attacking. He will use his single target slap, nightmare status, and full party AoE rocks. No matter the circumstance, these will hurt, so use sprinkles and safe spot wisely. And if you don't have a healer, this fight will be hell. Just try to attack as much as possible in the first phase. Try to keep close watch of the Dark Lord's HP, because once it reaches half HP, it's second phase time. If you predicted it by putting your protagonist in the safe spot, good job. If not, good luck, because once the Dark Lord starts his second phase, he will steal 2 of your Mii's faces. If your protagonist didn't get stolen, kill one imp or the more damage dealing teammate, you won't need your healer here, and I'll tell you why soon. If your protagonist's face did end up getting stolen, just hope and pray your AI teammates will kill your imp first. Then, after killing one imp, set priority on the Dark Lord by hitting it, because your AI teammates will hit whatever enemy you hit. But now with just one imp up, the Dark Lord won't do anything, and will just say, "Time to face the facts," try to be menacing, and now you just chip it down until it fucking dies. I mean, sure, the one remaining imp will still attack, but they aren't a concern at all. If you accidentally kill both imps, put your protagonist in the safe spot immediately. Besides that, this fight should be quite manageable, and then watch whatever plot happens next. And that's the end of this quick little guide. I know it's not much and this game is easy, but who knows, you might have learned something new about this game here. Well, that's the end. Thanks for watching. Peace.